Hey everyone, welcome to PlatformCon 2024. Thank you for tuning in to listen my talk. I'll be presenting on how we can use Docker Scout to fortify our DevSecOps pipeline and also make our software supply chain security even better. Before we begin, here's a quick introduction about myself. I'm Prabesh. I'm currently working as a senior SRE at Capsule. Capsule is an online pharmacy which helps you to get your prescription drug same day free of cost. I'm also a Docker captain. I've been using Docker and its services since 2016. Other than this, I'm also a content creator where I try to share my knowledge and experience through my blogs or my YouTube channel. So let's get started. Today we'll be talking about CI/CD and security aspects of CI/CD. We'll also see how Docker Scout can help you fortify your DevSecOps pipeline, and also I prepared a demo showcasing the capability of Docker Scout. So, what is CI/CD? In this fast-paced software development industry, CI/CD has become a prominent way for us to deliver high-quality code at scale. However, as the complexity of project grows, we all know that security becomes increasingly important, and also traditional CI/CD setup may struggle to keep up with it. Just continuous integration and deployment and delivery is not just enough. We need to make sure our applications are continuously tested and also continuously monitored throughout its software supply chain lifecycle. As world grows to adopt containerization, it has given up with us with this great power of deploying software efficiently. However, we all know that with great power, in this case dependency, comes added vulnerabilities as well. This vulnerability can come from a package you are using, which was recently identified of a CVE or a parent image. We recently got to see that in live action with the discovery of backdoor in XE package. So how can we solve it? The only way to solve this issue from reaching production is scanning and auditing the Docker image in every step of your software supply chain pipeline. You might be wondering how I can do this. This is where Docker Scout comes into the picture. So, Docker Scout is like you can think of Docker Scout as all-in-one security guardian for your container images. It scans each layer of your container images, identifies components, and then checks them against database of known vulnerabilities. You can think of Docker Scout was security scanners on steroids. It uses SBOM or SBOM to cross-reference CVE with potential remediation as soon as possible. Just a segue, SBOM is a nested inventory of ingredient that makes up your software components. For example, it can be software components, dependencies, metadata associated with your application. So, unlike traditional scanners, Docker Scout uses event-driven model to detect new vulnerabilities. Been recently announced and also shows vulnerability affecting your images within seconds. So let's talk about three core features of Docker Scout. First is it provides a single unified view of application dependencies from all layers, allowing you to easily understand your application vulnerabilities and their remediation. As I mentioned before, it uses event-driven model to continuously detect and discover application vulnerabilities affecting your images. Docker Scout also provides you with recommendation via its integrated recommendation remediation options to mitigate against any discovered vulnerabilities. Let's see Docker Scout in action. Um, so here is a link to the repo containing the lab if you are interested to follow along. Yes, so I've created a sample Go application. It is a simple Hello World Go app, and I've Dockerized it using standard Go Docker template. It uses multi-stage build. It uses base Golang to build the binary and uses Alpine in the final stage. I've intentionally used vulnerable version of Alpine to for demo purpose, but in production, make sure you are using the latest version. So let's go ahead and build our Docker image. I'll build it using Docker build and tag it as my app colon v1 and build the image. Once it's built, let's go ahead and scan our image using Docker Scout. So we'll do Docker Scout and we'll scan for CVs and pass in our app name. So as you can see, it gave us with this nice report of the vulnerabilities that are present in our app, binary or image. It found two critical vulnerabilities, 16 high and 7 medium. It also shows vulnerabilities on package level based on their identified CVE as well. This is very nice. So now once we know this binary is vulnerable, how can we fix it? Let's ask Docker Scout for recommendation. You can do that using Docker Scout recommendations, and we pass in our vulnerable app image. Now, the recommended fix from Docker Scout is to use the latest version. In production, it's not good practice to use actual latest. It is nice to pin down the version. So I'll just use 1.39, which is the latest version of Alpine. I'll just comment this out, and let's create a new image. Docker build my app. I'll name it V2. So yeah, I build the image again. So let's go ahead and scan the image. Docker Scout CVs my app called V2. So now we are scanning the fix app, and theoretically, or we now we have mitigated the risk, or make there are no vulnerabilities present on this image based on Docker Scout. If you are using Docker desktop, you can actually view this report in Docker desktop as well. Let me just find it here. So if I go to the images and v1, it shows you all the vulnerabilities and based on their package, and also the CVs associated with them. And if I try to get check at the v2 version of the app, there is no vulnerabilities present. So this is how you can use Docker Scout locally. And if you want to use Docker Scout as part of your CI/CD pipeline, I've added a link to a GitHub action file which uses Docker Scout. So basically, what it does is apart from other DevSecOps pipeline checks, it logs into Docker Hub, and then scans your application using Docker Scout. And once it's running, it gives you this neat looking report or summary of our application status, which is really nice. And it like you can configure your GitHub action to show this report when people are performing any PRs. So yeah, this is how you can run Docker Scout as part of your locally or as part of your GitHub actions. If you want to have a look, I've left the link to the repo in the slide. However, you can just go and quickly search for this. So yeah, that's all for this demo. Hope you learned something.